All right, are we in for a good day of trade? You got to take each day as it comes. Kunj Bansal, yesterday we were the eyesore. Everything is going our way, both in terms of the virus spread, which is getting contained. If I compare that with global averages, crude is behaving exactly the way it is. Reserve Bank of India has given a big fat moratorium on Friday. They've used not a bazooka, but in my language, they use heavy artillery to fight the war. And yet, what did we see on Monday? We underperformed, and FI they continue to sell.
Yeah, so is that the question to me?
That's right, Kunj Bansal.
Yeah. So first things first, I think the FIIs are selling because of their own issues. As we all know, this is a global pandemic. All the FIIs have issues of corona in their own country. Probably some of them are facing redemption. Some of them just want to cut their positions. Some of the hedge funds have probably reached strict stop loss limits and things on like that. So right now, nobody's economic impact that will be there. For FII selling, it's more of their need. It won't depend on everybody expects that yes, governments as well as central banks and all other regulatory authorities will indeed support their respective countries and population. So RBI giving a big artillery is not a positive surprise from them. It was in fact in line with expectation. In fact, it was some of them might say it was delayed because all other global central banks had taken similar actions much earlier, while RBI took almost 15 days to come out with such measures. So RBI measures, government measures are not going to stop the FII selling. As I said, that is because of their own concerns in their own countries and their own requirements. The supporting factor, thankfully, is that at least we continue to see buying from the domestic institutions. Till now, there are not much signs of the inflows into the domestic mutual funds slowing down, SIP slowing down. Maybe it can happen going forward, but as of now, that is not the case. So that's a positive sign. I think a one-way fall that was to happen in the market seemingly is over. Of course, these are difficult things to say, but we will have to keep monitoring as we go along.
Okay, the SGX Nifty then staring an upside of about almost 1.5% right now. Just want to mark what happened in the markets yesterday when you had financials as well as autos really take a massive part of the fall, and they were the ones which really dragged the indexes lower. Kunj, what's the big concern with financiers like an HDFC, a Bajaj Finance, Shriram Transport, Chola Finance? It was almost a case of basket selling yesterday.
Yeah, so before I come to my views on the financials, just to put a perspective on the market fall and on the indices, let's also look at the FMCG stocks. In fact, they have been sharply outperforming. In fact, some of the FMCG stocks yesterday were closed in positive. So I think market is trying to distinguish that in this whole development that has been happening, which are the sectors which will benefit, which are the sectors which will not benefit, and also which are the sectors where there's no clarity. As a market or as a market participant, I don't know what will happen. So I think that is something that is happening to the financial stocks, especially NBFCs and retail lenders. Market is trying to see that one, of course, the moratorium has been offered. It doesn't affect the interest and repayment that will come to these companies, but it does affect cash flows, which may not be a big issue for them, especially the bigger banks and NBFCs. For smaller ones, it can be. So that's one point. The second point is that can there be NPAs despite moratorium? Can there be some of the borrowers who will simply say that, no, I don't have any money. There's nothing I can do about it. I am not in a position to repay. If at all there is any security, you take it and you use it. So that's the second point. The third point is even if there is a security and if the lenders try to repossess that, will it really be worth? Will they be able to get some value out of it? Will there be a market for that to sell? So that's third point. And fourth point is on the future growth. That how soon the whole lending business will be able to come back online, how soon the demand will be back in the system. So these are the concerns that are affecting the market. Of course, let's not forget that BFSI is a high beta sector. So in case of any fall, this will be the sector which will lead the fall, and so will be the case in case of a rise in the market.
Yeah, absolutely. On the subject of autos, Kunj, and again, just taking cues from the way the entire sector fell yesterday, starting off with, an Eicher, M&M, Hero MotoCorp, Tata Motors, nothing was really spared, or for that matter, even Maruti. Do you think it's a while before the sector would make a comeback? I mean, tomorrow we'll have the monthly sales data, and I'm guessing we would be hard hit at a time when the industry was already grappling with the BS6 transition. Now you've got a double whammy in the case of this pandemic.
Yeah, so you are right. So if I were to just try to think of the sequence of recovery, sequence of demand pickup that will happen post pandemic, it will be, in my view, first of all, the non-durables, the consumer goods, in fact, which we are already seeing. And as I just said, some of the stocks from the FMCG sector have not fallen. In fact, some of them have gone up. So that will be the first sector. In fact, even now we have queues outside all the grocery stores and all the food stores. Some of the companies are not able to supply. For them, the problem is a manufacturing problem, logistics problem, and a supply chain problem. Demand is not at all an issue. So that will be the first sector wherein demand is already there, will continue. Second, it will move to essential durables. So something like, let's say, fans, bulbs, tube lights, things like that, and gradually moving on from there. And then only will come the automobiles, in which also two-wheelers will probably see the first round of recovery before moving on to the four-wheelers. And that is where I think we are seeing such kind of heavy pressure. Staying within auto, let's keep in mind that the commercial vehicle demand will be much later, because before pandemic also we were sitting in an over capacity zone as far as commercial vehicles were concerned. We had much lower demand of cargo movement and much higher availability of the vehicles, which were already on the history. For tractors also, we had seen a significant increase in demand just a month or 2 months till before 2 months ago. So that also I don't think will be an immediate reason for the demand to pick up. That will be the sequence. And because of that sequence, I think auto is one sector which continues to be beating the market.
All right, stay with us, Kunj. Lots more to talk about.